think straight, Mom. Oh, wait. That's right.
Hey.
No, wait, stop. I wasn't ready.
Hey.
Mom.
It's Black History Month. I got my daughter with me. Let me first say the music playing in the background. I do not own rights to this song, but I love this song. And I think the camera's here, but I'm looking here. Y'all, please excuse me. But this song really speaks to me, and it's got a little explicit language. It's got some cussing in it, and I don't usually do that, but there wasn't a clean version of the song. But it's Black History Month, and so what do we usually do for Black History Month? What do people do? What do they talk about? Black people. What kind of black people?
Like,
Be loud, girl.
like Rosa Parks and Martin Luther King.
Yeah, so we usually talk about those who've gone before us and paved the way for us. And we rock our African attire and all that. But today we're going to talk about colorism. So I'm going to tell you a little story about me. When I was younger, I grew up in a circle of my family members who were all lighter than I am. And my mother, if you've seen pictures of us in pictures together, you know that she's significantly lighter than I am. My aunts, my grandmother. And so I never felt like I fit in. You feel like you fit in?
Yes.
Yeah, because you're dark skinned. So they were all, lighter than me, and I didn't feel like I fit in because nobody looked like me. So that was hard for me. It was hard for me, and I didn't really identify. I didn't feel like I identified with those women because of that. And I never talked to anybody about it. And I'll tell you why I didn't talk to anyone about it in just a second. But I didn't have sisters or even brothers or anybody to talk to about these struggles. So the reason I didn't is because I was ashamed. I was ashamed of my skin. Are you ashamed of your skin? No, don't ever be ashamed. I was ashamed of my skin color because my peers, my fellow black people ridiculed me, and they talked about me, and they taunted me about my skin color. And, they'd be like talking about me because I was black, and I'm thinking, ain't we all black? But yeah, they were black, but I was black. So there was a difference. I was black. And so they made me ashamed. They called me names, Blackie, Shadow, Tar Baby, Hershey, all of that stuff. And they called me names, and it made me ashamed. So I didn't want to talk to anybody about my skin color because I was ashamed of it. So when I was about 14, 15, hear that? Dance, girl. Come on. Pretty for a dark-skinned girl. So I had a guy tell me that I was pretty for a dark-skinned girl when I was like a freshman or a sophomore in high school. And at that point, you couldn't tell me nothing. Couldn't tell me nothing, girl. I thought I was something. Who, me? I'm pretty for a dark-skinned girl. What? I'm pretty for a dark-skinned girl. What you say, huh? Oh, that don't matter because I'm pretty for a dark-skinned girl. I ran with that, y'all. And then I started to hear it more and more and more and more. So I really thought that was something, to be pretty for a dark-skinned girl. And then one day I snapped out of it, and I was like, wait a minute. What does that mean? I'm pretty for a dark-skinned girl. Like, what you think that means? Pretty for a dark-skinned girl.
You're just pretty for a dark skin.
So my question was, so does that mean if I was light-skinned with the same face, I wouldn't be pretty? Or does that mean that dark-skinned girls are ugly? So then I began to believe that dark-skinned girls were ugly. And then I was offended. so I would continue to hear this pretty for a dark skinned girl, pretty for a dark skinned girl. And then I was like, no, either I'm pretty or I'm ugly. Take your pick, but I'm not going to be pretty for a dark skinned girl. I no longer accepted that. Say
it. Period.
No longer was I pretty for a dark skinned girl. And so that was my struggle when I was younger. And I noticed a lot of girls now struggling with colorism. I know a few women who have dark-skinned children who they really struggle with colorism and being ridiculed and taunted by their fellow black peers. Are you being taunted?
No.
Are you being ridiculed?
No.
Do they think you're dark-skinned?
Yes.
Well, how do you know?
Because I'm black.
But how do you know that your peers see you as dark-skinned?
Because I'm not white.
So you just assume that they identify you with you as a dark-skinned girl?
Yes.
Like dark, or like they think you're dark?
Yeah, probably.
Let's see, how dark are you compared to me? We look the same color, but you are
really light.
Yeah, you are light. But see, there that is. You'd rather be lighter than me, huh? Because it's programmed in us to think that the lighter skin is more beautiful. So you think that you're lighter than me, that make you prettier than me?
I'm gonna be prettier than my mom.
I'm asking you a question. Do you think that because you're lighter than me, that you're prettier than me?
No.
Do you think that other girls are prettier than you just because they're lighter than you?
It depends. Like, they actually be cute.
Well, yeah. Some people are prettier than you. That's a given. That's all of us. People are prettier than people.
Because I know this one girl.
But do you look at girls and just because they are light skinned think they are prettier than you are?
No.
Okay. So, this goes back to slavery days where light skinned women got to work inside the house while us, dark skinned niggers, we'd be out in the heat slaving and sweating and picking the cotton and doing whatever other inhumane things they would have us doing. So it's ingrained in us to favor lighter skin over darker skin. So when have you seen colorism? Like, what things do you see?
I hear some people, they say they like black girls, but like they only prefer like light skins.
Guys they prefer light skin blacks over dark skin.
Yeah.
Why?
Sometimes they just say that's just what they prefer, but then other times they say that dark skins are ghetto. So yeah.
So dark skinned girls are more ghetto than light skinned girls. What do you guys think about that? Are dark skinned girls more ghetto than light skinned girls? Are these light skinned or dark skinned guys?
Dark skin.
So dark skinned guys in my daughter's
or
brown or dark skin. So brown or dark skinned guys in my daughter's peer circle pretty much don't want their own complexion. They want someone lighter. It's interesting. Colorism is interesting in itself, and it's something that I want us to make sure we take an intentional stand on trying to eradicate, because we talk about racism and black people will not let white people get away with anything when it comes to race, even if it's something that hasn't been proven to be true. Black people will not let that go. But we don't take a stand on colorism like we should. And I've been noticing on social media here lately that someone will post something about dark-skinned women, and it'll be something to uplift dark-skinned women, and it'll be downplayed. And the way we downplay the colorism is because we'll say, well, all shades of black are beautiful. And that is definitely the truth. All shades of black are definitely beautiful. But I don't think that we should downplay dark skin. Just like when they make music and they'll make a music about dark-skinned women. And then it's, but all shades of Black is beautiful. That's the Black girl anthem. And, you know, people get into a frenzy about it. And I don't think it's to take away anything from the lighter-skinned sisters, but it's just an opportunity to give the darker-skinned sisters something that they never had. You know, dark-skinned sisters were not always praised. They were not always looked at as beautiful. And I think that we keep the dark-skinned women in that box when we're not allowed to celebrate. When we say things like all Black people are beautiful in response to something that's geared towards dark skin. So, you know, do you think it's hard being dark skinned?
Sometimes.
Why do you think that?
Cause like, I be thinking like don't know, cause like a lot of boys, they really don't like dark skins for real. So it's like, yeah.
And I found that to be true. The older you get, and the older you get to be around different people in different situations, and you get to see more. But that was definitely the case when I was growing up. Guys wasn't checking for no dark skinned girl at all. They just weren't checking for you. They were overlooking you. But what I did find interesting is that the really, really, really light skinned boys were attracted to dark skin. Really, really, really light skinned girls really admired the darker skin. And I've had people tell me that my skin is beautiful. And usually the people who tell me that are not dark skinned people. They're not brown skinned people. They are usually white people or really, really light people or mixed people. So you feel like the boys ain't checking for you because you're dark skinned?
Yeah.
Well, that just means you will have more to offer than just your skin color. Do you think you're beautiful in your Blackness?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. One thing, you know, colorism still does exist for me. Like I said, I get people who come up to me and say my skin is beautiful. And it's usually not a problem when it's people that you know. But when it's strangers or white people, you're like, thank you. Maybe. You know, but then it's interesting because I have people who ask me, am I from Africa? Like, come on now. I don't have an accent. Just because I'm dark skinned don't mean I'm from Africa. You know, but they say that I have features. But I guess I am from Africa, but I'm not born and raised in Africa. I even had a man come up to me. I thought he was stalking me in the store because he kept looking at me, and I'm looking at him to see why he's looking at me, and I'm trying to dodge him going one way, but everywhere I go, here he come. And finally he asked me, was I from Africa? Because he told me that I looked like someone he knew in his country. And no, I'm not from Africa. I'm just Black. Although I've been called an African booty scratcher, I am not from Africa. So, you know, in honor of Black History Month, me and my daughter just came to talk about colorism a little bit. And I just want there to be an intentional effort put towards ending colorism, because I do see some girls who really struggle with it. And I do see some girls, you know, I was strong enough to go through it and come out of it, and I was made stronger from it. But not everyone is that strong or that lucky. So just like we fight against racism, let's fight against colorism. You want to say anything?
Nope.
Peace, love, and soul.